The Cavaliers have been streaking, won 11 straight. They're currently sitting second in the East at 16-7. They've been playing a great brand of basketball, but there's a lot of misconceptions about their winning streak. It's just like when people see this winning streak and how LeBron James is playing, which is completely out of his mind, they're essentially saying that, okay, Cavs have a better roster, a deeper roster, veterans, new faces. LeBron is playing out of his mind. They legitimately have a chance to run the table and basically get revenge on the Golden State Warriors. Now, while any team can beat any other team at any given night in a 7-game series, I'm not entirely sure, or I'm not entirely convinced that this is the case. Because if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers on the 11-game win streak, a multitude of the teams that they played were under 500, and the teams that they did beat that were over 500 were just barely over 500. The two quality wins I've seen them have this season, and this kind of sucks. They beat the Celtics opening night, but Gordon Hayward wasn't there. So I don't even know if you could count that as a quality win because the emotional shock value that happened that night tore it up. And I can't even think of another great quality win. Oh, New York Knicks. But I mean, even then, it was just like Knicks gave them the game, handed them the game. They lost to the Houston Rockets, and that's what kind of gets me about this whole win streak situation. It's not as if they have a win streak, and in the win streak they beat they beat the Warriors, they beat the Celtics, and then Houston all back to back. So it's kind of like, you're looking at this win streak, and you gotta take it with a grain of salt because if you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're still ranked 24th defensively out of 30 teams. 24th defensively. Opponents' points per game, they're allowing 108.9 points. They're 25th in points per game allowed. So currently what they're doing, because offensively they're ranked 4th, they're just outscoring teams. Their offense is too much for some of these Eastern Conference teams, even some of these Western Conference teams. And they're outscoring them. And LeBron James is the key catalyst to that, and key cog because he's trying to go on his MVP season. Right now, I think what Cleveland's trying to do, they want that number 1 seed in the East because they know that they have 7 new faces, and they're like, okay, Tristan Thompson's injured, Derrick Rose is still rehabbing. We need as much advantage as we possibly can have. I don't think this year they're comfortable with saying, whatever it is, whatever seeding, we're fine. People, they would love to have you believe that, but this is a new situation. LeBron is older, and if you watch how he's playing now, he's playing amazing, great. But honestly, in the NBA season, you don't want to be playing your greatest basketball right now. You want to be playing your greatest basketball halfway through the season, towards the end of the season. You still want to work some kinks out. You don't want to expend a lot of energy. But LeBron is playing tremendously, shooting 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line, which is great for him, especially great. He's on an MVP season kind of caliber. Only James Harden, in my opinion, is basically ahead of him. But that being said, Cleveland defensively is not there. So if they run into another team that can score just as easily as they can, they won't win. And if you're comparing that to Golden State can score easier, than the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if the Cavaliers defense continues to be lackluster, which it is, they're not going to beat the Golden State Warriors. And it might be a situation where they're losing 5 again. And that's what's scary because the win streak now tells you they have all the intangibles of, hey, we can win a championship this year, how we're constituted, and we're gonna challenge whoever we face even better. But it's just like if you truly break down the numbers and you look at some of the games that they won by smaller margins to mediocre teams, you can still see they have some of the same problems. Yes, Kevin Love is playing better. Yes, Dwayne Wade is, contributing off the bench, giving you 15 to 16 points off the bench at times. And yes, you're going to get Isaiah Thomas back, but it's just like you still haven't fixed some of those issues. And it's like no matter how much you score down the stretch of games, especially in the playoffs where it's defense and rebounding, that's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you, no doubt. And it's just like LeBron James, Shannon Fry made a interesting note. He said LeBron James is only 80%. he's only 80% engaged into the regular season. And this is how great he's playing. Imagine when he's 100%. By the time he could try to unload that 100%, he might be burnt out. Because if you look at when the Golden State Warriors lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Stephen Curry had a horrible finals that year, because he had got injured or whatever. But moreover, I think what happened with Steph was he played some of his best basketball so early into the regular season that when it came down to the finals and the playoff, and NBA finals specifically, when it came to the finals, he was done. He was burnt out. And that's the same that could happen to LeBron James. We've seen this multiple finals with LeBron James where he plays so hard in the regular season and in the playoffs that when he comes to the finals, he just has no more gas left in the tank. That happened last finals. So this is something that you got to watch out for, and this is something that we just simply can't ignore. We can't simply see an 11-game winning streak and think like everything is right with the world with the Cavs and everything is, it's exceptional. We can't look at it also like doom and gloom. I don't want you to think this is a doom and gloom scenario, but I want you to keep your eye out on things when it gets closer to playoff time. If their defense has not been improved by the time we get to, I want to say if their defense is not improved by January, or we'll say April, January to April, their defense does not go to top 10, then you have to be concerned for the Cavs. Because that shows you that no matter how much scoring is going to take place, they're still going to have these weird games where they're going to go to overtime with the Charlotte Hornets, where New York Knicks is going to be up 20 on them. And you can't always rely on LeBron James to bail you out with 30, 40-point games. Because at the end of the day, they're going to need much more contributions from all the other players. And teams can double LeBron and expect other guys to make baskets, which they can, but they might put guys in a position where they're not used to. Like, for example, Dwayne Wade I'm watching a lot of these games that they're winning. Nobody doubles off Wade. It's just like, why not? It's very, very odd. So, we'll see how it plays. I'm really excited for their win streak because, it's not good to see a team with LeBron James like third or fourth, which is really good. It's good for competition. Celtics got some competition. We're like looking at the standings, so it's really good. But what I'm telling you guys, beware this Cavs winning streak because they haven't solved their problems on defense. And defense wins championships, rebound and wins championships. If they can't solve their problems on defense, they're going to be like a sieve when it comes to the playoffs. And if they get to NBA Finals, it's going to be even worse. They face Golden State, it's colossal breakdowns. If they face another a high-powered offensive team like the Houston Rockets, that's devastation right there because they're going to prey on your weak defense. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction with Hoops Meets Hoopla. Like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Peace.